Mira Business FM, the sound of success.
Mira Business FM, good morning. As I mentioned just now, next, news for anyone looking to make real change in 2026. World-renowned therapist, motivational speaker, rapid transformational therapy trainer, and the best-selling author, Marisa Peer, is gearing up for a live performance here in Dubai. She spent more than 3 decades helping all kinds of people, from celebs to CEOs to athletes, Olympic athletes, and people from all walks of life break through limiting beliefs to rewire their mindset. And she uses a rapid transformational therapy, the RTT, which is a registered trademark, I think, approach. Her event's on the 11th of Feb at Zabeel Theatre. It's called Upgrade Your Life with Marisa Peer. We'll find out about that now. And she's here. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Good to have you here. So you've moved to Dubai, haven't you?
I have, 2 years ago.
Okay, and I'm guessing a bit of a change from, you were in LA before.
I was.
That's such a cool thing to say. Yeah, I used to live in LA.
Yeah, but I like it here. There's nothing LA can offer me that Dubai can't, apart from walking around.
I was going to ask you that. What was it that led you to move to Dubai?
Well, our big thing is I created a program to put in the school system. There's a lot of red tape in LA, but Dubai kind of embraced it. And I knew here I could get into the schools much more easily. And it was always been my goal to really help children actually not need therapy. So that was my main motivation. And it's much in it. My daughter's having a second baby. It's 6 hours to go to the UK. So I see her a lot more. She sees me a lot more. So it's a great hub.
It is. It's a nice place to live as well, isn't it, I suppose?
I think so.
So look, you've spent decades, Marisa, helping people change the way they think, change the way they feel. Where does it come from for you? What led you to here?
Well, my father was always a teacher, and I saw something that, when you do something that helps others, you're always happy. A lot of studies show that people who help others are happier than those who have 3 times their income, because helping others is really what life's about. And I always wanted to do that. My father was a teacher. I saw that in him. And I thought I might teach, but actually went into therapy. But funnily enough, I'm now teaching all the time through my books and through my talks, like the one at Zabeel. But I think it's that, everyone's looking for meaning and purpose and impact. Most people, when they die, don't fear death. They're living a life without any impact. So I always wanted a career that gave me impact, meaning and purpose. And I was very lucky. I found one. And I love it as much now as I did on day one.
So your dad was a teacher. So my wife's a teacher. And I look at her and I think, and I was lucky. I have to admit that. Don't tell her I told you that. But I was. But she's doing what she should be doing. It's the ideal thing for her. It works for her. And I guess, it's that kind of vocational thing. Is this vocational for you, do you think?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. And I've trained almost 20,000 therapists. And they all say the same thing. This is a vocation. I think a vocation is a wonderful thing because when you do what you love and you love what you do, it doesn't really feel like work. And since we're going to spend so much time working, good to find something that you love that makes your heart sing, because it doesn't feel like hard work, really, ever.
Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky enough to be able to do what you like, there's no point getting out of bed to go to something you don't like, is there, I suppose?
Course.
So you're known for creating the Rapid Transformational Therapy. That's your kind of trademark, that's your kind of thing. In simple terms, what is it and what makes it powerful? What makes it effective?
Well, it is rapid. When we go to the doctor or the dentist, we don't expect to discuss the fact that our leg hurts or our tooth hurts. We expect to get fixed. And I always thought therapy should be like going to ER. You should turn up with your pain. Someone should say, let me fix that pain. But what therapy says is, let's have a conversation about the pain for several years, form a relationship, and you may then feel better. And I wanted to offer clients immediate results. Like if you're in pain because you can't find love, you self-sabotage, you procrastinate, pain because you get tension, headaches, you should be coming out of pain straight away. So what it does is it takes you out of pain in one session. It's very clever at finding the pattern, understanding the pattern, and changing the pattern. So people might, you might go to AA and talk a lot about why you drink, because you want to, but a lot of people say, I know why I do what I do, but I still do it. I know why I eat too much, drink too much, shout too much. So finding the pattern isn't quite enough. You've got to find it, understand it, change it, all at the same time.
Okay.
So that's what it does.
So I don't want to bring this down to too simple a level, but if somebody goes to a course of yours or a session of yours or an event, you're like a Panadol. You're like we're going to kill that pain. But can that be confrontational? Are you having to face things that, publicly that maybe you don't really want to bring out?
Not really. The way we feel, it comes down to the way we think. I could get on a plane and think, oh, how lovely, I'm going to have 8 hours sleeping. Someone else could be terrified and go, I don't trust this flight. So the way we feel about everything comes down to the pictures we make in our head. In other words, if I'm scared of needles and you love having tattoos, then we both make very different pictures of what a needle is. So it's never the thing, it's what we think about the thing. And what we think about the thing can be changed very, very quickly. So fear of heights, fear of bees, fear of birds, fear of cats and dogs, fear of people, fear of speaking in public. These are not rational fears. They're emotional fears. And here's a great rule. The emotion will always defeat logic. So logical talk therapy doesn't work because the emotion will run the show. But you can very quickly change the emotion and then you feel completely different.
So I'm not good with heights. Okay, let's take that as an example. I'm not telling you to analyze me now, but I think it's interesting that I have a real issue with heights, and I know that I should face that fear.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I've never really been made to. But what would you say to me to make it clear that just get on with it? Don't worry.
You have to dialogue with your brain in a different way. How successful you are comes down to something very clear. How good at you are dialoguing with yourself. Maybe you're good at dialoguing with your kids or your clients, but you've got to learn to dialogue with your brain. So when you're high up and you think, oh my God, my stomach is going, you've got to keep saying, I'm safe and I like it. It isn't true, but you can lie to the brain. I'm a great fan of lying to your brain. So you keep saying, I like it, I've chosen it, I want to be here. I was at the CNN Tower a couple of years ago and, there's got a glass floor, you have to walk across it. People were like crying, sobbing, sitting, they couldn't do it because the brain was like, oh my God, this is so dangerous, because we have a primitive brain. Heights tell us we're in danger.
Yeah.
But you can go back and say, actually, look, the walls are this thick, I'm completely safe, it's all okay. So your brain only wants to protect you. And when you're up somewhere high, the first thing it says is, well, this is crazy, get away from the edge, you fool. But you can dialogue back and say, actually, I'm really safe and I've chosen this and I like it. Weirdly enough, this one phrase, I've chosen this and I like it, can change your entire life. You've got to repeat it a lot. It's like speaking on stage. You go, oh God, I couldn't speak on stage. That's terrifying. You can say, wow, I love it. Okay. I've got a great audience here. So you have to find certain phrases. And that one, I've chosen, and I like it, actually changed my life. It's a bit like, making yourself go for a run or go to the gym or not put sugar in your coffee. If you say, I've chosen this and I like it, you're giving your brain a very clear message. And when you repeat it, the brain gets the message and it acts off the message because you're changing the pattern of I don't like it and I don't want to be here.
Okay. See, I'll be open with you. Full disclosure, I'm a bit of a cynical soul, a skeptical soul, but I'm going to try that, and I mean that. So,
well, don't try it. Do it, because trying is an interesting word. Trying always implies failure.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that then. I've chosen this and I like it.
Yeah.
And I'll find something. Maybe it might be heights. You may have to work harder than that 5 minutes. And I'll give it a go. And I kind of like that because what you're trying to do is it's almost like rewiring. It's almost like a reboot.
The brain is very patterned and you've got to change the pattern.
Okay. And this is a change for good. So what you're doing, you're not saying, come to my event, listen, and maybe do something. You're saying to people, come to this event, I'm going to, impart some serious information, try to guide you in a very specific path. And this is change for good. So this is permanent.
Yeah, permanent, powerful change. Yeah. Once you get the brain to change, it won't change back again, which is great news. You get it to change and it keeps the change.
Okay, and there's science behind this.
Oh, a lot of science, huge science behind how the brain works. Neuroplasticity says the brain will reshape itself with different thoughts. So if you started to say, I like this feels great, look at the view, this is amazing, I'm up so high, I really like it.
Right.
It's a bit like if you get on a plane and go, this is terrifying, or go, well, this is like being in Disneyland, it's quite fun. You can really confuse the brain, because your brain is just a robot. It's listening to what you say. I love this expression, your words create your reality. If you don't like your reality, go back and change how you're talking about it. This is killing me, this is stressful, this is driving me mad. You're talking about being on the road. It's not killing you, it's not driving you mad. It might be stressful, but you could say, well, it's just what it is. I'm in a car, I've got some air conditioning, I've got some music. You always have a choice. Talk yourself into it or out of it. And with the fear of heights, you talk yourself into it. I don't like this, my legs are going to jelly, I feel nervous. But you could actually talk yourself out of it. This is actually nice. This is great. I'm loving it up here. Because the brain, if you say, I love it, love it, love it, the brain really doesn't know. You know, I had to inject myself in the stomach every day for a month. And it was an injection that made me sting for 20 minutes afterwards. And I learned that if I laughed, if I got my husband to do something, if I played music, if I sang, it wouldn't hurt and it wouldn't bruise. And if I didn't do that, it hurt and it bruised. So it's interesting that the singing or the laughing was telling my brain, oh, I'm really happy here, I'm having a great time. But the not singing was saying, oh, I don't like this needle, I hate the stinging. And it didn't just hurt, it had a big bruise as well. So it was quite interesting to do that, to notice. You know, I was in a scanner a little while ago, and when I was saying, oh, I'm so chilled in here, just like being in bed. I've always wanted 20 minutes to myself. Here, I've got it. I was sorry. The minute I said, oh, I'm a bit trapped, this is claustrophobic, my body started to move because I was telling it, I want to get out. So you've got to really take charge of how you talk to your brain all the time. And when you do that, it actually changes your entire life.
Okay. So your Upgrade Your Life is for anybody who feels I've looked at lots of the literature around the event. So if you feel blocked or held back or ready just to get better, to be the best version of you, live your best life on kind of your terms, that's part of it. But it's also something, I was interested in this, you say it's great to share with a friend, so go with somebody.
Yeah.
Is that a more effective way to get the most out of what you offer?
If you have someone that keeps you accountable, your chance of success goes up by amazingly 80%. So, you know, if you go running with someone or say, hey, we're both going to take sugar out of our coffee together. So having someone who holds you accountable is an extraordinary thing.
Okay.
So we say, bring a friend. And if you do this together, your chance of success will go up even more.
So a real friend, somebody who will tell you the truth.
It doesn't have to be a real friend. No, just someone, it could be anyone that will keep you accountable. So when you say to someone, okay, I'm going to get up every day and have a cold shower.
Right.
And I'm going to ring you up and say, I've had the cold shower. And if I don't ring you, you can ring me and say, hey, what about the cold shower? You said you're going to do this every day for 10 days. It just makes you more wanting to, because nobody wants to think, oh, I'm failing. I committed to that and I haven't done it. So when we have to do it in front of someone or for someone, it feels more easy to keep going.
So, I mean, it adds intent, doesn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, the intent, yeah. And the commitment and the feeling of, I said I would do this, so I need to follow through.
You promised, another quote for you, real lasting change, which will put you on the path to living the life you want. And this is not just another talk. This is a transformation in action. So it's a lot, I think. The word intimidating is too much, but there's quite a lot that potentially you could learn that you would have to take in. What is it that, when you're doing this from your point of view, rather than your audience, your clients, the people there, what do you wish for people to leave with? What do you expect people to leave with?
Well, one of the common denominators of our issues is we never feel enough. We don't feel good enough, worthy enough, qualified enough. There are so many ways to feel not enough. 80% of us suffer with that. 40% of men and 80% of women have imposter syndrome. So what RTT does is it kind of takes you back to your childhood and has a look at, where did you learn? No babies want to think, hey, I feel like an imposter here. I'm not really worthy of waking my parents up at 3 a.m. That just doesn't happen. We're born loaded with self-belief, very determined, and certain we're worthy of everyone's attention. So here's the question.
You've met
where
my
does it
daughter,
go?
obviously.
Yeah, and mine. And, you know, no baby says, gosh, I shouldn't wake you up. So this question is, where does it go? What happened? And when you can just have a look at, oh, that's when I made that decision. You see, we make decisions when we're 7. I'm not really good enough. Oh, I need to do better. And we have no idea that making that decision so early can affect our entire life. So what we do in these abilities is go back and have a look at when we made these decisions, and then we change them. It's really simple. You go back. I mean, the brain goes back every day. If I hear Barry White, I go back to being 16. If I eat apple pie, I'm back in my grandmother's kitchen. If I smell coconut, I'm back on the beach in Greece. So the brain will always goes back to work out, what does that mean? And when you can change the meaning, it changes everything. You know, you can't change what's behind you, but you can change what's in front of you when you change the thoughts and beliefs that live inside you. So that's what we do.
So it's down to us as individuals, and I know you can't give away all the secrets, but is there anything you can... I'm not going to ask you to analyse me, that's corny, to be honest with you. It's kind of unnecessary, but any secrets you can offer me now, offer me a little bit more about what I can expect when I'm there?
Well, I think if you liking yourself, if you don't like yourself, no matter what you've got, you haven't got anything. So if you can go through life thinking, hey, I like myself, I'm a good person, I've got something to offer the world, I'm nice, I'm interesting, it's actually life-changing. It's always the simple things that have the most powerful impact. And so it's getting people to like themselves, to believe in themselves. We're so busy trying to make someone else like us and believe in us, but we have to believe in ourselves. People are so busy trying to control their kids, their partner, but actually you have to control your thoughts, that the only control you ever have is of how you think, because your thoughts control your feelings, and your feelings control your behaviors. When you learn to just control your thinking, which is the only control you can ever have anyway. But when you learn to do that, it changes your entire life. So it is life-changing. It's very life-altering. The ability to think, oh, I can't change that, but I can change what I think about it. I can change what I say about it. It's when you're saying it's hell on the motorway, it's a nightmare in the store on Christmas Eve. That really isn't true. I mean, for someone else, not having a car or any money for gas might be hell. So it is reframing. Life is all about reframing. But when you can take that power back, it makes your life very different.
So that's an interesting point, because that must be something that is a real... That's a light bulb moment, I think.
Yeah.
If you're in a traffic jam, and we all suffer from this in Dubai. I was talking to you before we came on about I mentioned my traffic this morning, my journey this morning. Another wise man said to me, so you're not stuck in traffic, you are traffic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But if you can reframe that moment so that, okay, everybody around you's going mad, people are cutting in, it's difficult, you're late for work, but just use the time in a different way, because you will get there.
And ask yourself a question. Is this someone else's fantasy dream career? Would they love to have a car and gas and a job to go to in traffic? Some people are taking the tube and the bus and walking. So we're actually very lucky. And in traffic, you can have your coffee, you can have your music, you can have your phone, assuming someone else is driving. But I found when I began to say, is this someone else's fantasy? My kid's keeping me up on it. My husband leaves his clothes all over the floor. So I say, I'd love that problem. I would love that problem. So the fact that your problem is someone else's fantasy is a very good way of reframing it. You've got a car, you're going to work, you've got money to pay for the car. That's actually a great thing to have. A lot of people don't have that and would love to have that. You've got a home and something's broken, but you're a homeowner. That comes with it. You've got a kid that keeps you up, but that comes with the territory. But someone would say, I'd love that problem. That would be my idea of, my fantasy would be to have a husband leaving his pants on the floor, a kid putting peanut butter on the fridge, and sitting in traffic going to a job.
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of get you. You've answered one of the questions. Sometimes you plan questions. For anyone listening right now on their morning commute, is there a simple technique they can try today to feel more empowered? You've answered that question pretty successfully. You've worked with lots of people. I mentioned at the beginning, celebrities, business leaders, athletes, Olympic athletes around the world. What are the most common, we've got a couple of minutes, limiting beliefs that you see holding people back?
I'm not enough is by far I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. They're the biggest. I'm not enough, I'm not worthy. See, if you're naturally gifted and it's easy, you don't value it and think, well, I didn't really work for this. And then you start to get rid of it. It's what I call the self-destructiveness of talent. So people who've got everything but got it easy, they don't feel they've earned it. So if you give your kids everything, if you're a naturally gifted movie star or singer, you don't really value it because you didn't have to work for it. And our brain likes working for something. So that's often the hardest thing, the feeling of, I don't really deserve this. And following on to that will be, let's get rid of it. You probably know that 70% of lottery winners are broke in 3 years. 90% of inherited wealth is gone in 3 generations. And it always comes back to one thing: I'm not worth it. And the greatest advert in the world is you're worth it. So if you want some help, just start saying, I'm worth it, I deserve it, I'm worth it. The mindset of I'm worth it is 80% of your success. And it's your job to work on that mindset. So before you start going for a job or trying to manifest, sit with yourself and keep saying, I'm worth it, I'm worth it. You get lots of objections. Then you realize, oh, it's me objecting. No one else is saying, no, you're not. It's you. But if you keep saying it, it will sink in, because the mind learns by repetition. It goes for the thing you focus on the very most. So the more you say, I'm worth it, worth it, worth it, the more you become your own cheerleader and fan, the less you can become your own critic. Your brain can't go in 2 lanes. I'm a critic and I'm a fan. I'm a cheerleader and I'm a critic. You can only do 1 lane. So stay in the lane of saying, I'm worth it, worth it, worth it, because it keeps you out of the lane of, well, I'm not really worth it, I don't deserve it, which then leads to the lane of, let me sabotage and mess this up, all unconscious. I'm worth it is a very powerful thing to say, I deserve it, because how could you not be worthy of love or friends or happiness? Of course you're worth it.
It's a good place to finish, I think. Marisa Peer is a best-selling author and a rapid transformational therapy trainer. Upgrade Your Life with Marisa Peer is on the 11th of February. It's at Sabile Theatre, which is what, Jumeirah Sarai, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've only got about 70 tickets left. So if you want to come, buy one quickly.
All right, then. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.